Welcome back, everybody, to The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD.
Yeah, more filler.
I can't even keep up this facade.
Like, you know, we've had our schedule slips just because, like, you know, I don't always, you know, we have work and class, and I don't always feel like doing commentary because...
And I honestly, because we're at this point, I honestly don't think about it every day.
But like at this point, it's a
like we'll go 2 weeks and I'm like, shit, we haven't done a part of this in a while.
And then we'll try and schedule it and be like, oh, I slept through the day and then I had work. Sorry. Which is actually happening right now.
That is actually happening.
Because they've had me closing at work all the time, and I fucking hate closing because I don't like the second half of my day being taken up by work, and I hate just the methods that we have to close with. I prefer opening. And like with opening, you know, you have the build up from 8 o'clock till 11 when we open, and then you kind of have the you know, the build up to business when it peaks at noon and noon to 2 when we
lunchtime.
Yeah, lunchtime. And then it just kind of mellows out, and you get ready for night shift. You get night shift set up at from 3 to 4, and you know it's a nice logical progression. And like, and hell, even doing like a mid shift, which is 12 to 8, you get there and it peaks right at lunch, and then it kind of eases back, and then it peaks at dinner, and then by the time dinner's over, you're gone.
You're done.
But
that's
with closing,
your day.
You get there. And then you get an hour, and then 5 rolls around, and you get the dinner crowd, and then it peaks, and then at like 7 o'clock, it just drops off and it dies until
closing.
Until about 9:45, which we close at 10, but we get like another like couple $100 pop at 9:45, which is the most annoying shit ever.
That's
and then
so weird.
And then we still have an hour and a half where we're just clean, and it's. I don't get it. I don't get why people are like, oh yeah, just show up right before they close. Like, I understand like eating late at night because I do that, but I don't know.
Like, for example, if I'm gonna order a pizza, and the place closes at 11.
You're not gonna.
I'm not gonna be one of those assholes that calls and orders at 10:45.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, business is business, and people sometimes do apologize, and those I don't got a problem with those people. It's the people who like stay. Like, we aren't gonna kick someone out immediately at closing. Or, you know, we'll give them about like I think the official grace time is about an hour before we ask them to leave. It's those people who just stay and they make a huge mess and they don't leave a tip. Like if I were gonna stay after closing, I would fucking leave a tip because, you know, it's inhibiting us getting out sooner. People who don't tip are assholes.
Don't be a scumbag. Always tip.
Yeah. I'm not you know, we're not asking for a lot. Like, we're asking for maybe $1 or the change, or like the coins from your change. But like, you know, people act like tipping us is the worst thing ever. Actually, one thing that kind of flips where I work from normal restaurants is we hate big groups because it means they're not going to tip. Whereas like a normal restaurant, because you know tipping is not required, but like strongly implied that you have to do it. Big groups are welcome because that means you're going to get a bigger tip. Whereas for us, it means everyone's just going to assume either someone else is going to tip or they're going to be spending so much money. Be like, I don't know.
I wonder what the people from from places in Europe are thinking, because the tip is included in the bill over there.
Yeah, we don't do well. I also think mandatory tip. Well. They do mandatory tipping in some places in the U.S. It's called a oh shit. What's the term? There's a term for it, and it's done.
Neither of us have a clue what it is.
It's done. A lot of restaurants around here do it for very large groups of like 6 or more, just automatically. Service charge, I think it's called. Yeah, service charge.
Might be. Just
So-
a generic service charge.
Yeah, but that's what the tip is, because they factor it as a tip, because you get a large group like that, and if they just so happen to not tip, then like you're screwed over, because that's a lot of work doing large groups. But I don't think like tipping should be a mandatory thing. But that's because I don't think common courtesy should be like forced upon someone.
Our lesson here today is always tip. You'll make someone's day.
Yeah, like see, it does, like especially if it's just like a tip jar. Throw $1 in there. Like, you have no idea how good that feels. Like, I don't even, as management, I don't even get tips anymore. But I'm still like, yeah, this is awesome, because it means, we're doing, it means my crew's getting more money, and that makes them feel good, which makes them work better. And, oh my god, right now we have, like, the worst crew I have ever seen at my store.
And you're managing them.
Yeah, and I gotta be in charge of it. And there have been
Good.
problems, and, like, I'm getting bitched out
It's
by
a good
my
thing
general
you
manager.
got that management training for this shit.
Yeah, I'm super unhappy. Like, and it's just been, like, since the start of the year. Like 2 months, and it's gone so far downhill, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? Because we lost so many good people. Here's another bit of advice: if you can't make it to work for any reason, give your job a call. Don't just not show up and not say anything, because you will be fired. I mean, granted, if you're just not showing up because you don't want to work, well then fuck you. Give a 2 weeks notice if you're gonna do that, because we need you when you're scheduled, and we need that time to hire new people.
That's why a 2 weeks notice exists.
Yeah. So.
Just speaking of common courtesy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it's hilarious that LA has a law that forces people in vehicles to yield to pedestrians. And it's like, are you
That's a law?
fucking kidding me? That had to be a law? Like, down here, like, I bitch all the time about how, like, people in the parking
Actually, it's California, so it doesn't surprise me in the
lot...
slightest.
Well, no, California. Like, so people like to talk about how Florida is full of, nothing but crazy people, and crazy flows downhill. California is just as bad, if not worse, than Florida. The problem is...
I would say crazy flows west.
Yeah, crazy does flow west, too. Crazy goes to the coasts. Like, seriously, how... Well, I mean, granted, like, Iowa has a bunch of crazy people, but that's due to isolation more than just, like, them being crazy. Just by design, But, like, the issue is, people expect better out of Florida. That's the thing, because we don't have, like, what does Florida have beyond that? Theme parks and crazy people. That's all, like, and you don't count crazy people as part of that. Ugh, I'm hungry. I didn't mean
What a great tour guide you would be.
I am, like, the best tour guide ever. You don't even... It's like, we might be lost. I don't know. I don't recognize... No, I've totally gotten lost, like...
No, your positivity is like when I was the tour guide when I dragged you through hell in our other M playthrough.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking great.
I don't dislike living in Florida, though. It's just... California's worse. I've spent a total of like a month in California.
You've spent enough time in California to know.
Yeah, which is
Like, you've never actually lived there?
No, I visited my uncle for about a month and a half when I was 16. Wait, when did the second Aragon book come out?
Oh, fuck.
That was back when I had very poor taste in literature. Basically, if it had dragons in it, I thought it was cool, and I read it. But I think it was around that time. It was well before Brazinger.
I'm gonna look this up.
And, like, Inheritance wasn't even, like, started.
Keep going on your dumb stories. I'm gonna look this up.
But yeah, I've been reading the Game of Thrones. Not that I shouldn't call them games. The Song of Ice and Fire books. Game of Thrones is an easier thing to say though, so like my brain just naturally goes to that. But I'm on the last one, and I'm hoping he doesn't die before he finishes the series.
Is that like some sort of concern?
Yeah, George R.R. Martin's like in his late 60s, and he's a fat guy, and
He's
like,
fine.
He spends his living is sitting at a desk writing. That is not the healthiest profession.
Okay, Eldest was published August 23rd, 2005.
Yeah, so I would no, it was after that then, because 2005 my uncle would have been in Florida. 2005 was when I visited him here in Florida, and actually we went to Kennedy Space Center then. I haven't been there since, so I'm planning this summer to go when I'm 23. And like I'll do like I have a picture from then. We're gonna recreate it. It's gonna be a thing. But anyway, how about this? These dice.
You know,
islands?
once again, I had notes for this part.
Oh yeah, you did.
And for the second consecutive video, my notes have nothing to do with the video. I can tell you that it's not going to spiral into another dumb work story because you've heard enough of them.
You
Or will it?
Yeah, you don't know. I don't know the notes, so I don't know.
If you remember a couple years back.
Sure. Let's go with that.
With the news of the costume DLC for Arkham City.
Yes.
We did a small rant on the state of DLC.
Yes.
And while we're on the subject, I hate to just immediately go off on another fucking tangent, but
okay.
How hype has Nintendo been with DLC as of late?
It's been some pretty fucking good DLC. I'm not gonna lie.
Not only is it good shit, but it's fucking great business because you get people hype about it, they'll pay up front for it,
and then
like, release it months later, and people get re-hyped because not only is it good, but they've already paid for it.
And then, like,
it's a fucking great business model.
They haven't just been doing paid DLC. There's been free content. Like Hyrule Warriors, like, granted, a lot of it's like costumes and shit, but still. Like, people like getting free stuff. It doesn't matter. For most of it, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, like, say, like, if you're like, yeah, here's, you know, I'm giving out some free gonorrhea, like, no.
I did not have any idea we were going to take that road, but anyway. I was going to wait on this rant until a game like this that had these evil things appeared on a Nintendo console. And I mean like a sort of big-ticket game. There's a game released very recently on the 3DS called Pokemon Shuffle.
Isn't that
it's a free-to-play game?
Okay, wait. Wasn't that the... Okay, isn't that the Pokemon... Isn't that just Pokemon Troze, but they had free pay-to-win on it?
Yes. Yes, I'm... You think you figured this out. I'm on a pay-to-win rant.
Oh, fuck pay-to-win. Like, I don't ever play pay-to-win games. Like, if I hear that it's pay-to-win, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not playing that.
Fuck that shit, then.
Like, that's the reason why I don't play, I guess MOBAs really aren't too much pay-to-win, but they kind of are. I don't play League of Legends. Well, part of that is also those have, like, the worst
part of that is the fucking poison in those communities.
Yeah. I'd rather just not play video games like I'm doing now than play video games with bad communities. But anyway, pay-to-win.
It's something that's not gonna go away.
No, it's not, because it works.
The business model works because the in-app microtransactions they have the potential to be greater than the profits from that, or the potential to be greater than a one-time purchase, or in the case of DLC, several one-time purchases.
And part of that stems from the people who spend money on that.
There is no shortage of horror stories on these pay-to-win games that, especially today with like e-wallets and such, there is no shortage of horror stories of people who have spent small fortunes on these games before even realizing it.
It preys on people who don't have the capacity to manage their own money. Be it children or adults or teenage, like regardless of how old you are, like if you don't have the capacity to manage your own money without like something constantly reminding you, then you're the perfect customer for pay to win. Because none of those pay to win apps will ever tell you how much you've spent so far.
And that's by design.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have to be like as obsessive as like every day I check my. I mean, granted, it's probably a good practice, but every day I check my bank account. And before I make any video game purchase, I check to make sure I have the money. Granted, you know, I earn my own money.
If I'm gonna order pizza, I check to have the money.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I haven't been doing that as late just because I've actually been making more than I've been spending right now, which is a great feeling. Just because I haven't been buying, like, I kind of went crazy with buying video games for a while.
We've talked about this on many occasions.
Yeah. Well, you know, growing up, like, all my friends had, like, all 3 systems and a good number of games for each of them, and
this is true.
whereas
I can confirm this.
I just had a GameCube and, like maybe a half dozen games for it. Like, I kind of am super envious of people who have, like, the, you know, nostalgia for video games, because there's not many games I have that feeling for. I don't even have that feeling for Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I played the hell out of, just because I would only... Beautiful Joe, I do.
The SD version of this game?
Yeah, the SD version of this game. It's Beautiful Joe, SD version of this game. The first 2 generations of Pokemon. And then that's it, really. I don't have much nostalgia. Like I don't feel
like you can't really say that for some games, despite pouring hundreds of hours into them.
Well, the biggest issue with Melee was I never had anyone to play with. My sisters wouldn't play with me, and I never had friends over, and like the only people I would ever play with was my cousins that I saw maybe 4 times a year. But yeah, I really envy people who, like, they're like, yeah, I love this game as a kid, and like they can play it to death and still love it, whereas, like, I don't know.
Once again, you don't know where you're going with this.
I mean, now, like, there are games that I absolutely love and would love to get back into, like Fallout New Vegas. I think I had
the coils of Nikola Tesla.
God, that DLC is so great. I love it. The only reason I don't play
you want to talk about stuff you have nostalgia for? The Old World Blues DLC.
Yeah, like that shit. Like, I can't believe Fallout New Vegas is like 3 years old now.
It is. It's
like that.
Well,
blows
that's
my
what
mind.
happens when it's like, shit. It's 2015. What the fuck?
No, it's more than it's more than 3 years old. Because I got that when I was still living in Colorado Springs. Shit, Skyrim's gonna be 4 this year. Granted, I haven't truly played Skyrim in like
2 years.
Like 2.5 years. Because I played it for like a year straight. Oh, fuck these.
You wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah, I had a lot of
I
fun
know that
playing
for
it.
sure.
I just got really burnt out on it. It's weird to me now that it's been long enough that I could have nostalgia for games that I played in my late teens.
It's true.
And it's like the Steve Miller Band song. I'm not even going to explain that one. I want people to figure that one out for themselves.
They won't.
No, they won't.
Even I'm a little clueless on that one.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
I suppose.
What's the one XKCD comics like? It's amazing that I'm still surprised on the passage of time, despite
it being the most predictable thing ever. You talked about this like one or two parts ago.
Yeah, I'm not very. I don't have a whole lot of stuff going for me. Did you just completely forget about not having that equipped?
Yep.
Oh man, that's great.
That's just fantastic. See, this is why I write notes on bullshit instead of having to talk about what's going on in the video. There's a ton of bullshit.
Yeah.
Some of it I really should have edited out, but
who cares? We don't have the viewer base to really not care about
really
quality,
care about such
but
a thing.
to worry about it. Like our comment, honestly, as long as we're entertaining somebody, I'm happy with it. At this point,
we're at that base where there's enough people that it exists.
Yeah.
But not enough people for us to care. It's a real weird spot.
Maybe once we start making those two best friends play numbers, then we'll kind of rein it back. Or hell, let alone those.
Write that down. That day never coming.
Yeah. I don't know. What could happen? I mean, we're still
Probably
young.
won't though.
I mean, granted, part of the, part of that is providing a video series that kind of is more comedic, but that's not really we really aren't. Neither of us are really on the spot comedy rapid fire shit. Mostly we like reference humor, which is
no. What'll happen is we'll record a part. And then 2 hours later, I would have been like, shit. Should have included that.
Yeah, and then we make notes to include it next time now.
And then we don't.
I thought you were where I thought you were going with that is what it is I'll start making money off this and then give you, referring to me, none of it. I'm okay, fine, I'll do commentary for free. You jerk. Start crying into the microphone. It's can't sell that. Nobody wants to hear a 22-year-old crying over a video game.
And it's not even about the video game.
Except people watch a lot of Dark Side Phil, so that's wrong.
I guess so.
I kind of want to keep talking shit about him just so he notices us.